Hello, everyone.
Hey, hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. Um, we're gonna be starting in Matthew chapter 50, 25, Matthew chapter 25, verse 14. And we're gonna go, I don't know if we'll make it all the way through verse 30, but we're gonna be in Matthew chapter 25, starting at verse 14. Uh, and welcome everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Um, Thank you all for your prayers and your support over the weekend. I'm doing much, much better. Still trying to rest and get my strength up. And we won't be here for the whole time today. We'll probably end at about 6:30, um, 6:30, 6:40, something like that. All right. Let's um let's go directly. Matthew chapter 25, verse 14. All right, let's start there. Huh?
For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods.
Go ahead.
And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another two, and to another one, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey.
Okay, pause. So the kingdom honors ability, okay? The kingdom honors ability. There are some environments that that just give everybody the same thing. That's not how the kingdom works, all right? In the kingdom, you're honored by your ability. And the honor is to whom much is given, much more is required. The reason he gave one, five, one, two, and one was because of their abilities. This means do not get frustrated if you are not asked to do everything. You are asked to do things based on your ability. Hold on, I need to get my charger. Oh yeah, that devil wanna mess with this. Hold on a minute, y'all. All right, I'm back. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay. All right. The kingdom honors ability. The kingdom honors expertise. When you're doing things in the kingdom, yes, there's a place for you to stretch out and do what you've never done before, but there is also a primary space that you feel where you are doing the thing that you're great at, experts at a thing. And when you are an expert at a thing, then you get rewarded, you get recognized for that thing. And nobody gets upset because you're great at this and not great at that. All right. It's only in the church. It's only in the church where you have people that are not good at a thing and still occupy that position. Not good at singing, but still lead songs. Not good at counting, but still over counting. Not good at directing, but still directing. And people say little stupid stuff like, well, it's okay. Well, God knows their heart. Yeah, God knows their heart when it comes to salvation. But God ain't studying your heart when it comes to producing excellence. The kingdom is a kingdom of excellence, excelling. And it is crazy how we, the children of God, we won't invite people because we know it's raggedy. We won't tell people to watch because we know it's raggedy. But we don't want to do the work to make sure it's not raggedy. Isn't that weird? It's almost like the church is supposed to at the same time be the platform for foolishness, and at the same time be a description of excellence. If it don't look like God, it shouldn't be up in front of people. I remember there was a video that surfaced online. It was Kim Burrell um, preaching. Now I love her singing. I'm not a person that would have great conversation with her, but I do love her singing. And she said something that was really true. People called it mean, but what she said was true. She said the congregation should not have to sit through your horrible singing just because you felt like singing something. She went on to say, some of y'all singing is drawing people away from God. And you saying, draw me nearer. And this type of singing is drawing me further away from God. But folk don't want to admit it. I remember Deacon Anthony told me about a pastor, and I had heard this pastor preach one time. I heard this pastor preach one time, and y'all know me, God bless you. God bless you, God bless you. Lord, there's a new bump on my head. Y'all see that? I'm gonna get it. It's okay. I'm gonna leave it alone for now. But I'm gonna get it. Seemed like it just lit up, didn't it? Like a light. It just lit up like a light bulb, like a zit. But that's okay. I got some zit popper. I'm gonna try to do it better than this one because this one left a scar. Anyway, let me back to what I was saying. So that thing gonna irritate me. Um, if y'all got any tips, make sure you text me because I'm gonna get that one with a safety pin, a straight pin, and a lighter. But anyway,
Apostle, they have patches. No, they have patches, sir. Please
I
no.
say, please do not stick a pin in that.
because those that know me know I will be poking in it.
Yes, Lord.
Somebody better send me a Amazon link because I done seen it now.
Pimple patches.
Okay, so anyway, um, people shouldn't have to endure. I don't forgot what I was saying. People shouldn't have to endure your foolishness. You sing and draw me nearer, and the singing is drawing them farther away from God. And what Kimbrell was saying was perfect your thing outside, perfect your thing on the sideline, perfect your stuff in rehearsal, so that when you stand up in front of people, you're actually giving something that's of quality. You're giving something that's your best to God. Here we have a scripture that says that in the kingdom, that the kingdom is like a man that went to a country or went to a journey, and before he left, he gave gifts according to everybody's ability. To those that have more ability, he gave them more gifts. And instead of being jealous of the person with more gifts, why not help them with the thing that they're doing? Why not assist them? Why not just say, do you need some water? Do you need any help? Do you need me to send an email? Do you need any support? Do you need me to do anything for you? I see you doing such and such. Do you need me to do anything for you? Because I can't do what you do. That, y'all, is kingdom. That is working together. Not they get to do everything. I remember when I was at Numa, God bless, it was beautiful people. But there were people that actually upset with me because they were afraid the young people were going to take their positions. Who cares? Like, are y'all serious? You barely stay awake. You barely come to church. You've been doing this for 42 years. If somebody else show up, shouldn't you be excited? Shouldn't you be happy? Shouldn't you be relieved? But no, the reason is for some people, and I'm sensitive to this, but let's just nip it in the bud. For some people, their church identity is all they have. And if they're not necessary in church, they're not necessary anywhere. And that's a sad reality. And that's why so many people have fought y'all for church positions, fought against you in church activity because their church position is all they had. They didn't know there's a whole kingdom out there, a whole kingdom. And I want for you all to experience the fullness of the kingdom so that you are aware that even if you're not called upon inside of church, Principal Lee, she does not have a church title. She helps out. She's a good helper. She's a hard worker, but she don't have no church title. We call her Principal Lee because that's her destiny to be a principal, and then to be an advisor of schools. She has an assignment, a congregation that's much bigger than my local church. She has an assignment for hundreds of youth every day to take care of them, teach them, guard them, protect them, instruct them. Hundreds of youth, dozens of teachers, and they all look to her. It would be crazy for her to fight for a church position. But there are some people who have no identity outside of church. And because they have no identity outside of church, church is the only time they feel important. I don't want that for you all. In fact, there are people who will get their spiritual needs met here, and they will still be unfulfilled here because here they don't get a church title. There's not a young people's department to be over. There's not an usher board to be over. There's not any way to showboat. And so people will say, I don't know where I fit in. Why don't they know where they fit in? Because they're looking for a church title. Now, y'all, please, you all that know me, don't try me. You all that don't know me, ask somebody. There was one day we were in School of the Spirit, and I was talking about fakeness. And one brave soul raised their hand and said, do you think I'm fake? And I said, yes. And then I went on to explain to her how not to be fake. If, God, y'all pray. If you feel it and the shoe fits, wear it and get delivered. Okay? When the message comes, I don't know where I fit in. What that really means is that the title and the work that I thought was necessary does not seem necessary. Now, what can I do to help here? And because people don't know how to say that, they say, I don't know how to fit in. I'm used to being the usher board, but we don't have ushers. I'm used to being the announcer, but we don't have announcers. I'm used to leading the choir. We don't have a choir. Well, I'm struggling to see where I fit in here. I must not have a place here. No, that's not what that means. That means that you have other skills that you have not tapped into. And some pastor pimp was just massaging you to make you comfortable, and they never tapped into your full ability. They never unlocked the alabaster box. They never showed you how to tap into your own greatness. They put you in a choir stand. They put you in a door for ushering, and there's nothing wrong with any of those assignments. But our job, Leviticus' job, is a message and a pattern that takes others to higher dimensions of life in God. We don't need an usher board. We'll hire ushers. If we never have a choir, we'll hire singers. But what we will absolutely do is show you how to activate the 8 dimensions of life. You are a leader, whether you're a leader in economics or a leader in education or a leader in entertainment or a leader in environment or a leader in government, a leader in religion, a leader in technology, a leader in social. We're going to show you how to lead right where you are. We're going to show you how to take real territory. We're going to show you how to be the best in your field, to the point that when the roster is called, who should lead us, that everybody points to you, because the anointing on your life is not one for church, it's one for the world. We're not trying to win believers back to Christ. That's not what we're doing. We're trying to demonstrate the kingdom. We want the light to shine in darkness. Y'all don't hear me. Some of y'all just want to preach in the pulpit. Listen, we want a real light to shine in the real darkness. I remember I told Julian's wife, Miss Shanti's, I said, I see the day when we have church on a yacht, on a cruise ship. We just decide this Sunday we're going on the boat. Well, not only will we have church on a yacht, we'll have it on a jet. We'll have it in south of France. We'll have it in Mykonos. We'll have it in Paris. We'll have it in Greece. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about the kingdom is big and large, and we ain't got time for you to be asking, you got any fans? Where them fans at? Nah, we gonna dance. We gonna show you the fan. Matter of fact, somebody gonna build a fan factory. Come on and let's stretch out, y'all. Let's grow our mindset. This scripture, and Carmen, I want you to pick back up where you were reading. This scripture says, he gave to every man as they had several abilities. And most people don't know what their abilities are. And because they don't know what their abilities are, they've been misaligned. They've been mispositioned. And because of that, they have been misunderstood. When people have conflict with you and they don't like you and there's like no infraction, one of the things you have to check, you always got a problem with me. Maybe we are mispositioned. Maybe we are misaligned. Maybe there's something about this relationship that is off. Maybe it's not me. Maybe it's not you. Maybe it's just we are squares and circles trying to fit in, or squares trying to fit in a circle peg. It doesn't mean that somebody is wrong. It doesn't mean that somebody is right. It means that we are misaligned. Paul, in the Bible, Paul was a difficult guy to work with. He was very difficult. He was so difficult that Luke, the doctor, said, we're gonna separate. We're gonna take we were doing missionary work together, but we're gonna separate because it's not profitable for us to work together. In other words, you getting on my nerves. Now, I don't know if Paul had the attitude problem or if Luke had the attitude problem, but they both agreed that at one point it was not good for them to work together. And then they reconnected, and Paul said, well, it's profitable now for us to work together. Sometimes you need to acknowledge it's just not profitable for us to work together. All right. Everybody has ability, and you are given stuff. You are given more blessings based on your ability. If you have to manage a classroom, you get a certain number of pencils. If you have to manage a school, you get more pencils. Does it mean you're more important? No. It just means your assignment is larger. By volume, you're responsible for more things, more people, more items. So you need more resources. The reason that I need millions of dollars is because I'm responsible for millions of things to be done. Right now, my next goal, now it took me a few years to get to $100 million. My next goal is to get to another $100 million in 3 months. And I know it's possible. I know it's possible. So I started to reach out to cities, and so far, cities have contracted with me to help them. Now, I need access to billions of dollars so that I can funnel it to millions of people. I had one phone call with the city today, and they said, "Yeah," they said we're interested. And then I ran my report, and it looks out this city will not be a good fit. And then one of the other cities contacted me and said, "Well, what about Santa Fe? What about Albuquerque?" And then they gave me another city. I said, "All right," and I started to run the reports. I was running out of time. And I was like, "Okay, all right." And as I discerned these different cities, I'm like, I can help them. So when I talk about God sent us to take cities, I'm not talking about God sent us to take churches in cities. I'm talking about God sent us as Josephs to advise whole cities. Whole cities. So why he need what he need? Because I advise cities. Why he need all that? Because I advise cities. Why he need a car that drive itself? Number one, it's my business. But because I advise cities. Why he only fly first class? Because I'm responsible for city. I don't need to be uncomfortable. I need to stretch out. And I need to be on the airplane first. And I need to get off first. And my next step, after I get, if and after I get frustrated flying first class, I'll only fly private. These are my standards. You can have your own standards for your own life. And what to whom much is given, much more is required. God deals to every man based on his own ability. But what about your ability have you not manifested? Maybe you do need more, but you haven't done more. But God, if you give me more, I'll do more. Well, that's not how it goes. Because I was advising cities when I could only afford to fly coach. I was advising cities when I could only afford, cheaptickets.com, or I could only fly on points, or I could only fly on buddy passes. I was doing it then. Point, if you can't do it without the funding, if you can't do it without the resources, I doubt that God's going to give you the resources to do it. because that means you will have only done it because of the resources. You will not have done it because you're called to it. But for those of us that are called to a thing, oh, you do it without the resources. You'll do it without the support. Sometimes you do it without the permission. You do it because you're called to do it. You do it with nobody endorsing you. You do it with nobody clapping for you. You do it when everybody think you're crazy. Carmen gave us example last week of what she was doing without the funding, without the support, without the money, without the claps, without the cheers, without the giggles. God deals to every man according to his own ability. All right, let's read on.
Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other five
Hold on.
talents.
You said he traded with the same?
Yes.
He traded with, now this the same could be he traded with others like him, or he traded with the money he had. Either way, there's a lesson in that. He did business with people that were like him. Y'all, when God grows you, or actually before God grows you, he always, always, always introduces you to new people. Always. Every time God blesses you, that blessing requires a person. When the devil wants to tear up your life, that tearing up also requires a person. People are God's instruments, y'all. That's why we got to treat people right, because people matter. And here, this guy went and traded with people, people that were of like mind, people that also had something to give. If you're around somebody that don't have nothing, nothing, nothing. As a matter of fact, when I went to college, my godfather told me, he said, Joseph, he said, don't mess with nobody that ain't got nothing to lose. Because if they don't care about their life, they won't care about yours. And I pass that on to my children. Go out, have a good time, be children, be college students, live the whole college life. But don't you get hemmed up with nobody that ain't got nothing to lose. And Sebastian had the nerve to ask me, how can I tell? I said, ask them about their dreams, ask them about their plans. If they have no dreams, no plans, no goals, don't waste time with them. Because if they don't care about their life, they won't care about yours. One of the most dangerous people is somebody who has nothing to live for. I say this to everybody now. Don't waste time with people who have nothing to live for. If they don't have nothing to do, if they're willing to mess up their life, they don't care about yours. That's why you're not supposed to co-sign for nobody. If they don't mind messing up their credit, they don't mind messing up yours. They are not going to take care of yours better than they take care of theirs. If they destroyed their car, they'll tear up yours. If they don't like their kids, they ain't gonna like yours. All right. So he traded with the same. Read on.
And likewise, he that had received 2, he also gained another 2.
Uh-huh.
But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money.
Uh-huh.
After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth within him.
Uh-huh.
And so he had that received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more.
I've gained. This is growth, y'all. Remember, I told you everything in the kingdom grows. Everything grows. Whether you want it to or not, it's going to grow. You get to decide the direction of your growth. You're either growing in this direction or you're growing in that direction. You decide, but you are going to grow. Read on.
His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord.
He called him faithful. Faithful does not mean maintain. Faithful does not mean I maintained it. Faithful means I made it grow. Somewhere along the line, we applied our own definition to faithful. He was a faithful servant because he made the 5 talents grow to 5 more talents. What are you making to grow? What are you growing? Not what are you doing, but what are you growing? What are you making better? When you go into a job, how have you made it better? How did you make it grow? When you go into a community, how did you make it grow? When you go into a city, how did you make it grow? One of the cities I'm working with, they were like, we heard so much about you. We appreciate you so much for meeting us. Will you please help us? Behind the scenes, the lady that connected me with the city said, we are getting ready to put a for sale sign on our city. We need you. We know that you can save our city. I said, well, that sounds like God to me. I've been waiting for some, waiting, what, not one moment in time. I've been waiting for a time like this. I've been waiting for a girl like you to come into. No, Lord, it was some other song. It just went right by my head. But anyway, I've been waiting on one. I've been waiting to save a city. A few years ago, I had a list of cities that was for sale. But that's okay. I'm not buying this one. I'm saving this one. And I feel y'all can play with it if you want to. I feel an anointing to save cities. So what I did, I said, are there other cities that I can save? Do y'all understand that when God shows you one thing, that one thing is just a sign, that one thing is just a little tidbit of what's available to you? It's only a tidbit. And the thing is, I saw clearly how to save a city. Now it's over. Now it's over. Because I don't only believe I can save a city, I know how to do it. I know exactly how to do it. When God blesses you, you go through ups, you go through downs, you go through highs, you go through lows. When the Lord left those talents with that man that had five, we don't know about his challenges, we don't know about his struggles, we don't know about his fears, we don't know how difficult it was. What we do know is that at the end of the day, he multiplied what he had. There are some people that got so many excuses. They dog ate their homework, they fish was late for school, they cat got ran over by the school bus. I mean, everything. They pinky toe hurt. They got all kind of excuses for everything. But at the end of the day, that guy with five talents, he knew how to produce. I saw a story, I think it was Oprah, years ago. It was two twin girls. They were valedictorian, salutatorian of a high school. And it was amazing because they were black girls, that valedictorian and salutatorian of the school. But then they got down into their story, telling their story. Come to find out they were homeless for 3 of the 4 years out of high school. 3 years they were homeless. And the host, I think it was Oprah, asked them, how did you do this while you were homeless? And those girls said, my mama expected us to. And then she's like, well, what did you do? She said, well, we got to school early. We stayed after school. When we leave school, we would go to the shelter in time to get in. We would shower and sleep and get up and do it again the next day. But there are students that have houses and beds and all kind of toys, and they won't produce or perform at school. Why? It's because somebody never expected them to. Now let's lift it off of them and talk about us. If those girls, kids who did nothing wrong, can go to school and make straight A's and go live in a car and sleep in a shelter, if they could do that, what's your excuse? Let's be real honest. It is not the devil. It's your lack of discipline. It's not the devil. It's because you like what you like. It's because you don't want nobody to tell you anything. It's because you procrastinate. It's because you're slow. It's because whatever the case is, whatever it is, it is. Be man enough and woman enough to call it out and work on that. Because whether he gives you one talent or two talents or five talents, you have the ability to produce. So the one with five talents produced five more. The one with two talents produced two more. But the one with one talent, instead of him going and producing one more, he hid it. He was embarrassed about what he had. He was ashamed about what he had. Miriam, the prophetess, had one good song. One song. She sung that song, and the horse and the chariot, the horse and his rider were thrown into the sea. David had five smooth stones, but only took one to slay Goliath. Esther, the slave, she had one bad walk. Oh, Sister could walk. She was walking. I remember Jamila brought the model troop to church one day. She brought the whole troop to church. Some of them was men, some of them was women. Some of them I couldn't tell. But boy, they could walk. I'm telling you, the spirit got moving, and they got to moving, and then because we just do anything in the presence of the Lord, just whatever you do, do it as unto the Lord. And they started walking. I said, "Well, look at here, Jesus." And they just walk. Listen, Esther, the slave, she had a bad walk. She had a walk so bad the king made her his wife. She said, I got to have that one. What I'm saying to you, you might have one talent. You might have one smooth stone. You might have one bad walk. You might have one good prayer. You might have one shot. You have one moment in time. Do it as unto the Lord. Don't be ashamed about what you have. Let God grow what you have. Don't be embarrassed about what you have. Don't scapegoat what you have. Apply what you have because God has need of it. The kingdom has need of it. Know that you are excellent at something. Stop wasting time with what you're not excellent at. Focus on what you're great at and partner with the others who have what you need. Don't be so stuck on yourself. Don't be so prideful that you assume you got to be great at everything. No. Somebody contacted me and said, Apostle, I really have a problem with budgeting. I said, it's okay. I said, I want you to reach out to Sister Katrina because she had a breakthrough with budgeting and now she's good at it. I don't know how she did it for years, but I witnessed the breakthrough. I witnessed it. And then I got on the phone with Sister Katrina. I said, Katrina, such and such is going to call you. I want you to make sure you help her and help her stay focused on this budget. Katrina said, okay, I'll do that. This is how people help each other. At the same time, Katrina had a need with schoolwork. She reached out to Principal Lee. Principal Lee helped her with her mindset for school or whatever it was. This is how we help each other. Julian called me today and said he had a house for sale. He said, I want to sell this house. I really would like to sell it to somebody. And he gave some parameters of who he would like to sell it to. I said, all right, you reach out to this one, reach out to that one. He said, yeah. I said, all right, well, I hope they don't move slow. Y'all, all I want you to know is, number one, you are gifted. Number two, grow in that gifting. And then number three, connect with others that have other gifts. All right? This is how people begin to honor each other. This is how you reach a finish line faster. This is how you get there. The kingdom of God is wired to grow. And if you focus on what you're good at, you're going to grow what you're good at. The law of entropy says that anything you don't pay attention to, it moves to disorder, it falls off. If you stop paying attention to what you're not good at, I mean, bring in the help and then just let help. You'll stop being so sad. You'll stop being so depressed because you'll finally be able to realize what God put you here to do. And you'll be so busy doing that. It'll bring joy to your life. It'll bring happiness to your life. It'll bring meaning and resolve. And you'll be able to connect with others and celebrate what everybody is good at because you'll realize that in the kingdom, everybody gets something and everybody has something to do. All right? That's it for tonight. In your own time, I want you to read down to verse 30. But for right now, does anybody have any questions, statements, comments, revelations, aha moments that we want to share?
Apostle, I just have an aha moment. So I started my new position on the 15th. Today I was in a meeting. I was invited to a meeting with the Secretary of State, the director, in HR, and accounting. So I was in here with all the big wheels. So I just wanted to just share that. So the scriptures say that your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. So I was just gleaning in this room. So I just wanted to just share that.
Yep. And the reason they call them big wigs is because they used like the British people would wear wigs, and when America was started, the real important people would wear big wigs, the powder white wigs. That's why they call them that.
Okay.
All right. Who else? Anything else? Anybody else?
Yes, Julian. What you said. I don't even remember exactly what the scripture said, but how people gravitate toward each other that are doing the same thing, or at least going in the same direction. That has really been real for me lately. And you told me to do some stuff a minute ago. Last week, I just packed my schedule, just like different networking events, so I could get out there and connect. Because I just have a just desire just to be around people who just hungry and really is out here just getting it with no excuses, no turning back, impacting nations, changing the generation.
Yeah.
You know, so I just want to say that.
That's right. And just when you respond to the nudge of God, or even when you respond to an instruction that came through Bible class, and you're actually out on that water, it can be scary at first. It can be uncomfortable at first, but don't it feel good to fly? Like, don't it feel good like I'm doing it? You might not have made one sale, Katrina. You've been there so soon. You hadn't even made one good paycheck. But don't it feel good to like be like, I know I'm in the right direction. I'm moving in the right direction. Like this is where I belong.
It does.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Anybody else?
You had taught, I don't know, a couple months ago, I know what exact class it was, but you were talking about networks and expanding. And what I took out of that was to also be open for additional friendships. And so I had to figure out why I had put a block there. Like, I got my inner circle, and then I got, and I prayed about it. And then God has sent some very much like-minded, kind of what Julian was just saying, like out of the blue people. And it's been a good time that has been had, and a lot of iron sharpening iron from it. So thanks for always moving at the speed, the speed that you do, and the knowing what we need.
Absolutely. When you reference the speed at which, I want all of you. I haven't taught it by itself, but I've included it in lessons. Number one, there's a 72-hour rule. That applies to revelation. You have 72 hours before that retaliating spirit hits hard, and it hits hard. 3 days, that's it. But you have 6 seconds to make a decision about what you heard. 6 seconds. And that's why you need to respond quickly. Whenever the revelation hits, respond quickly. Do it then. I actually think that when the revelation hits, you need to take action right then. Whatever it is that you need to do, you need to do it. I actually envision and am excited about the day that people bring business plans to church because they need to be in this atmosphere. And while we're in church and while the anointing is moving, they start doing things for their companies. And this thing they do for their company is being actively and actually birthed out of the presence of God. And that thing has more productivity than other things. It's almost like bananas that grow in the rainforest versus a banana that grows in a desert. And I don't even know where bananas grow, but y'all get my point, right? I need something that's gonna be birthed out of a rich environment. I believe that faith creates that type of rich environment. And that's why you need to make decisions right then. Do it right then. Send the email right then. You have boldness right then. Counsel whatever you need to counsel. Activate whatever you need to activate. Schedule whatever you need to schedule. Ideate whatever you need to ideate. Create whatever you need to create. In that atmosphere that is supercharged with the presence of God, if it were me, and I was on the other side, not giving the word, but receiving it. And many of you, if you've seen me in other services, you'll see me pull out my phone and I'm typing things that are birthed out of the presence of God. Don't wait because you only got 6 seconds to make a decision. All right. Anything else? Anybody else?
So I had a question, a little unrelated. I was trying to jump on before you started to see if you had general questions, but thank you for the word today. I wanted to ask, because I feel like I kind of went through this season of just not saying anything at all, just being silent, right? And and I called it kind of giving other people an opportunity to speak because, I was born with a takeover spirit. So I just haven't said much, right? Or only talk when I need to, which just turned into other things because I realized I wasn't vocal, period. But I went down this rabbit hole and was just kind of thinking things out and listening. And I started to think about Lot's wife, right? My question is about, so this is a married woman who was in this city, who we describe as being this perverse place, right? But what would cause a person that is traveling with Abraham, who is married and I'm assuming whole in my imagination, what would cause someone to get to a place where they would look back when they're supposed to be leaving, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out, and everyone sticks on the whole Sodom and Gomorrah piece, but like past that, there had to be more connection, more something there that will.
Let me paint this picture.
Thank you.
They were in Sodom and Gomorrah, right? And she's a wife, right?
Yep.
Even though Sodom and Gomorrah was crazy, she figured out how to make a home in a crazy place. You can imagine she furnished it, she cleaned it. They figured out who they could trust and not trust. They know the schedule. It's kind of like, where I grew up in Philadelphia. I don't know how y'all were in DC, but there are people you stay away from, people you can deal with, can't deal with. You know what I mean? You need to lock your door, but you just figure out how to maneuver in the town, who to look at, who not to look at, when to pay attention, to mind your business. You get what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
somewhere or another, even though it was crazy, she figured out how to make it work for her and her family. And so when it's time to leave, she's not really trying to be rebellious. She's just like, I just figured all that out. It took me 20 years. Like, I figured it out. You get what I'm saying? And now I'm going to a place I don't even know where I'm going. I don't even know if I can figure out the next thing. That, as crazy as that is, that's comfortable for me.
Yeah.
And so even though she's wrong for looking back, she's wrong for it because God told her don't look back. But can't you imagine the rationale? Well, let me just look at my living room set one more time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I made it work. It's like even if you move out of the projects into a house, you might be glad to be leaving the loud noise and the hallways that smell like urine, and you might be glad to leave the roaches and the mice and trying to protect your house from the neighbor. You might be ready to leave, but when you're leaving and you're moving on up to the east side to this deluxe apartment, when you're leaving, it's like, man, I made some good friends there. I have some good memories there. You get what I'm saying? And so moving forward and growth is important, but we also, as humans, understand our connection, even if we had a connection to Egypt, even if we had a connection to Sodom and Gomorrah. It is not a bad thing to remember and to recollect. The instruction was that she just wasn't supposed to look back. So, yes, she was wrong, but we don't want to totally indict her. She's human. She had figured out a reality that worked. She had made a bad situation work for her family. And so she looked back.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right. Anything else? Anybody else? It could be anything. All right. All right. So we thank God for all of you. I'm gonna skedaddle on. I will see you all on Sunday. Yeah, I'll see you all on Sunday here in Richmond. All right. Guys, everybody to give, you're going to give something, whether it's your tithe or your offering, or if you're giving seed. All we ask is that everybody do something. Is how we maintain the blessing, even life forevermore. I understand Lakeisha had her retreat this last weekend. She had an open house at school tonight, so she couldn't be here. But the retreat went well. And many of you are doing projects in different ways. I'm glad to hear that you're moving forward. All of those things are important to God, not only because they're important to you, but because they are your way of reaching out to people. whether you're doing in business or in ministry or in some type of service. The thing that you're doing counts, and it's important for folks. All right, is when I reference my assignment to cities, I don't want you to look at that and get any type of envy or jealousy. I also don't want you to look at it and say, well, that's for Apostle. No, what I want you to see is if he can do it, I can too. And you don't have to impact cities. You can impact communities. You can impact businesses and offices and families and groups and people groups and nationalities and demographics and neighborhoods and communities. You can impact who you can impact who you are called to impact. All right. My assignment is cities, and I have an urgent assignment right now to help some cities by getting hundreds of $millions into those cities. And I'm going to use every resource I can to do that. What I want you to do is take your talent, take your ability, and do everything you can to help whoever you're called to help. All right. All right, y'all. Y'all take care, and I'll see y'all on Sunday.